Welcome to On the Bit. I'm Dave from Dream Thoroughbreds, and with me is Lenny from Bluegrass Bloodstock. How are you, Lenny?
Great, Dave.
That's good, mate. Big win by Stern last week.
Was a smart horse.
Yeah, he's coming to Melbourne. It'll be hard to beat in Melbourne in their 3-year-old classics. So this week, mate, we've only got one Group 1 for the weekend. It's at Randwick, and it's featuring the Mighty Winks, trying to make it 11 wins in a row. So what do you think in the George Main Stakes, mate, the Group 1 at Randwick?
Well, Dave, hard to go past her. Like, really, she's won 10 straight. Her Randwick mile, you know, she's won 4 from 5. Oh, sorry, over the mile, she's won 4 from 5, and she loves Randwick. Her win first up was amazing.
Yeah.
Hugh Bowman was just full of praise for her. He reckons that she's actually improved. If she could have improved, well, he reckons she has, so that's amazing.
That's scary, isn't it?
Yeah. Pretty hard race if you're going to have a bet. I'd be saying probably a bit like yourself. Like I was very much taken by Toast and Stardom's run in the race at the Valley, the feeding. Should have won. Just never got a crack at him for about 400 metres of that race. I thought that he was going to go to the Underwood. He's won 4 from 5 over the 1800 in Japan. Yeah. So he's a proven 1800 metre horse. And Weir's elected to go to the Group 1 in Sydney over a mile when he knows that Winks is there. So that's sort of telling you that their confidence levels are pretty high. I'm not saying that he'll beat Winks, but I'd definitely be having something on him, and maybe if he's, I don't know what price he is a place, but you know,
$28 I think he was.
Yeah. Oh, okay, well let's forget about that. I thought it might have been like $2 to finish second.
No.
But yeah, so anyway, Winks to win, but I think Tozen Starden will run a good race.
Yeah, she's starting to scare her rivals away, isn't she, mate? The acceptances for this race, I reckon, were pretty poor for a Group 1 race. She looks to dominate the race from the perfect barrier, sits a couple of lengths off the speed, and should be able to let down and out-sprint them. But you'll have to take $1.15 if you want to back her to win. It's only a 2-horse race. Toast and Stardom's the only other horse in it. Only a horse capable of matching it with her anyway. He just didn't get enough room last start at Moonee Valley. I think it was a bit of an error by DK Weir to run him on such a tight turning track, but I think they wanted to give him a bit of a taste of Moonee Valley before Cox Plate Day. Randwick would really suit this horse. He'll be hard to beat. Winks will make Winks. He'll be hard to beat, and Winks will have to be at her best to beat him. I'm actually told that he's the best horse in the Weir stable at the moment. And they want to get a Group 1 win with him to secure a stallion deal. So he's $11. It's very, very tempting to have a little bit of a crack at him. I probably rate him as one of the main dangers to Winks in the Cox Plate. So $11 on Saturday, I think it's a bit of a wager, worth a wager. It's a moral Quinella anyway. So I don't even know what the Quinella will pay. They'll probably only pay $60.80 anyway. We'll feature the feature race at Caulfield on Saturday, mate, is the Group 2 Naturalism, which is an automatic qualifying race for the Caulfield Cup, so creates a lot of interest, mate. So who did you like in the Naturalism?
Dave, I was on a horse last start, Magnapel, who was caught in a really fast run race. Kate Mammalian was on the winner. And
Greatest Theme,
yeah, Greatest Theme, that's right. It was on a firm track. It was a good 3, and he's a horse pretty much that I think likes to sting out, and he raced a bit flat that day as well. This horse has got fantastic form lines, like last prep, you know, beating United States at Caulfield, especially when he gets on a soft track and he gets to that 2,000 metres.
Yeah.
I think if you forgive him that last run where he's only beaten 3 lengths, and he's at 16, he's $16, $15 at the moment. I think he's a great price for a horse that's going to get a wet track. It will be wet on Saturday, not like when I said Flemington would be wet, and it wasn't really.
It's been raining all week.
Yeah, it's been raining all week, and Caulfield will be soft.
Yeah.
So he'll get his track, and I think at that price, great each way bet.
Yeah, it's a very open race. I liked Real Love's run I thought it was an outstanding run in the Dardo last start at Group 2 level. He's another Weir horse, and the Weir machine just keeps rolling along at the moment. He looks to have placed her in a perfect race here. She's been a model consistency since moving across the Weir. She's got a great second up record. She's retained a lot of fitness from her Brisbane campaign. Bradwood Willa goes on. So it ticks so many boxes for me. At $9.50, I thought she was on the bit each way. Tom Melbourne is the early favourite in this race, and he'll be improved from his run first up. He ran second in that race that Magpie ran fourth. He's a horse that needs to win to get a start in the Caulfield Cup, so you know he'll be right up and fit for this race. Glenn Boss has been brought back to riding from Singapore, and he's an excellent rider of stayers. So I think he'll actually dictate this race. He actually sat second last start. I thought he'll actually lead in this race. And again, I really like the Quinella with Real Love, but a really good race and creates a lot of interest. Stable news, Lenny. Any stable news for the week, mate?
No, I just got one runner that was going to run Saturday, but I think he'll run next week, next Wednesday.
Tough race.
Yeah, tough race on Saturday. Yeah. Yep, so
we've got Mr. Sneaky running at Geelong on Friday on the synthetic again. That's where he won his first race start. So he returns to the same track, same distance. He's a 3-year-old up against an older group of horses. It's an open class one. Didn't think it was. There's going to be a lot of pace in it. That's the difference to when he won first up. His blinkers we've taken the blinkers off him, so he probably won't go with the speed, but he'll sit off him and hopefully power over the top of him, and hopefully push on to better races during the spring. And just a quick note, we had our spring tipping competition start last week. We had over 36 people join. It's based on the tote dividend, so we're leaving it open for another week. So anyone interested in joining can still join. You need to go to the iTunes store and download the Giddy Up app and join the Dream Thoroughbreds competition. I'll have the competition details on the credits at the end. We've got over 3,000 bets from Ladbrokes being donated, and over 3,500 in the cash pool that's going to be used as half as a punters club and half as cash prizes. So it's well worth joining. So if you want to join, there's lots of value this week, and you can easily catch up to the leaders who are effectively, you need a $25 winner to get it, and there's 11 weeks to get a $25 winner. So if you want to join, it's open for another week. Lenny, best on breeding for this week, buddy?
Best on breedings, race 4 at Ramwick, Baccarella, Dave. She's got a beautiful pedigree. This filly, obviously Beneteau, Cinema Faded Sire, he's only 2 crops to race, have had some really nice horses, been a really good stallion. She never went through the sales, her dam Patronella was unraced, but as a producer she's left 12 individual winners, including group winners Aliana Tilde, Smites' Trish and Stella Artois, and the stakes race Baccarella, and her daughters have produced stakes winners. And actually, when you look at this page, like there's not even a second dam in the page; it's only the first dam. So it's as deep a pedigree as you can get.
Yeah, very nice. Value bets this weekend. I've got Caulfield Race 5, number 7, Rocketeer. Very unlucky second last start at Moonee Valley, over 1,500 metres behind a horse called Hey Doc, who's won his 2 starts this spring campaign. He was sitting midfield and just got shuffled back to last, actually, approaching the turn. Then he got through the field and he rocketed home at the short Moonee Valley straight. So he's at Caulfield this week. He's trained at Caulfield. I think he'll be much better suited there on Saturday. He's $8. I thought he was a great each way bet and good value. So he was on the bit. Okay, on the bid special for this week, Lenny. Who are you on this week, mate?
Going to Morphettville with Illustrious Lad. It's got really strong form lines around a horse that I think is going to be a future Group 1 horse, and that's Sapido.
Absolutely.
And last prep he went twice to Morphettville and won for 2 wins, same class. His first up record, he's won 3 from 6. He's a horse that gets back. There's 3 genuine leaders in this race, so he's really got the opportunity to finish over the top of him. He's only half a kilo above a minimum, and he's very well weighted, and I thought $3 on offer. I thought we have to get one. Last week we missed, so we'll get this one.
Yeah, that with a few multis too. I'm on Caulfield Race 9, number 2. He's our Rocky. I just think this horse is going places. He comes here second up after a fantastic win first up. He's a horse I just think will end up running in some group races later in the spring. Dwayne Dunn goes on. He goes up in weight, but I just think he just wins. He's $3.20 at the moment. I just want to be all over him at the $3.20 and multi him into everything on the weekend. Off the bit, Lenny, we're 100% record with our off the bit lays from the first week.
Yeah.
So we knocked some big guns last week. So what are you knocking this week, mate?
Shorty, Fox Plate, Waller's horse in Sydney. Only because, Dave, I think if the track was like soft 6 or worse, I think she just wins and be an even money chance. But I think she's pretty vulnerable. That track's going to improve. There's no rain, so it should be getting close to sort of good, sort of dead 4, you know.
Yeah.
And I think there's a couple in this race that that sort of have been near her on wet tracks and will improve on the firmer going. So I think she'll be right there, but I think on the firmer going she'll sort of get beat at the shorter price. So she's off the bit, Fox Plate.
I'm off the bit with Caulfield Race 7, number 9, the Virginian. This horse, in his fourth ever race start, ran 3rd in the Group 1 Stradbroke Handicap in June at 80 to 1. That was after he'd won a Class 1 race at the Gold Coast. Now, it was a huge run in the Stradbroke. He's been brought to Melbourne for the spring. He lines up in a listed race over 1,200 metres first up, drawn barrier 1. First go at Melbourne way of going, very competitive race. He's opened up $5 second favourite, so I think he's a bit of a risk. He was actually supposed to be sold to Hong Kong, but he failed the vet. So I just think he'd risk him first up in Melbourne. I want to see if he can measure up to the spring class before I start launching into his winter form. So he's off the bit for mine. So good luck on the punt this week, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys.